welcome back to Give Me a Moment. I'm your hostess P, and I have Bree with me
Hey
again.
y'all.
So today, we just came back from a little break after the holidays with Christmas and New Year's. So today, I just wanted to have an episode where that the first episode of 2023, where that y'all just get to know me. So Bree has some questions for me, and I'm a little nervous. I don't know what questions she has, so y'all bear with me. I think it's a little juicy, so
There will be definitely some juicy questions, but I think we got this.
okay. I'm a little hot. I need to turn my fan on.
Well, let's just start with the basics. Let's let the audience kind of just get a rough look and peek into your life. How old are you, Des?
I'm the big 32, 32.
And when did your birthday just pass?
So we talked about this on the last episode. Birthday is December 4th.
Miss Sagittarius over here.
Yeah. Bang, bang.
If you guys are Sagittarius, please feel free to let us know. We are definitely a loving community
Please
of the
comment.
Sages.
Please comment.
What's your relationship status right now?
I'm married. Y'all know that?
Okay. Well, just in case we have some new viewers, I just want to make sure
yeah.
we've, covered our, T's and, dotted our I's. And let's start, fairly in the beginning. I know your story is a little different than most. Let's talk about your childhood for a little bit. You were born here in Houston, correct?
Yeah.
But where is your family from?
Okay, so I was born here in Houston, Texas, born and raised. My family, I have a big family. I've talked about that before. If your viewers that's been here before, I know that I have a big family. I have 7 siblings. All my siblings were born in Trinidad. My whole family is from Trinidad.
Awesome. Do you still carry on in that culture though?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's very big in my family. We eat the foods. We carry on the culture with the holidays.
The parties, man. Everybody's here.
Yeah, Bree could, witness, and she could, air comments on that.
No, I think it's really nice to see a family that is so big for one, but y'all are so tight knit. Like you have a very close family, more so than I've seen just in, my life and what I've seen from other people.
Yeah.
Families do have their ins and outs, but you guys keep such a close tie to everybody.
Yeah.
And you guys all seem to get along fairly well, even though there is quite a bit of an age difference between you and your siblings.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a question. Yes, my siblings. I am the baby of the family. I'm the baby, but I don't want to put ages out there, but
That's okay. That's okay. Let's go back since we're in that era. What were your earliest childhood memories like? Were you surrounded in a lot of family? Were you really focused on school? Did you have any sports that you grew up playing?
So, no, sports, not so much. That's one of my regrets that I feel like you know, kind of pinpoint on everything. Growing up as, sports, I didn't do enough of it. I didn't do it at all, honestly. I did do soccer at one point, very short point in time. Yeah, but growing up, it was very, I do have some happy moments, and I do have some very, dark moments too. So,
Yeah, yeah, and that's fair. I mean, we all do. Growing up with your parents, was there kind of a need to fulfill any responsibilities? I know you were the baby, but even though you were the baby, you still had, nieces and nephews that were around your age. Even though, you were still very young at the time, did you have to take on any responsibilities?
I think I took that on as by myself though. As a young age, I kind of like my nieces and nephews. My nephew, he is what 9 years. No, he's about like what? He's about to be 25.
So roughly about like 6, 7 years
Yeah.
younger.
So around that time, I was like, oh yeah, like come on, like this is my baby. Like I was carrying him around like he's my baby, and then ever since then, it was just like a snowball effect with all of my, nieces and nephews, where I just like was like the aunts, but we're all close in age too. So it was like,
It
there are my sisters and brothers too. My
Yeah, I'm
little,
sure it didn't feel like you guys were just cousins or niece and nephew and aunt. It was just like
yeah.
everybody's here, everybody's family.
You know, that's what happens when you have older siblings. They have kids around your age, and it's like, okay, if I'm not gonna have a little brother or sister, I might as well just have my nieces and my nephews as my brothers and sisters, my little brother and sister running around here, and me taking care of them. So,
Well, would you say that your nieces and nephews were kind of like your first real friends growing up?
yeah, yeah, one of them I would say, just one.
Okay. Did you guys create like a closeness just from being together all the time
Oh
or?
yeah, we was always together.
Yeah.
We still are together. I mean, like, it's we talk to each other every day. My niece, she's like 2 years young.
Yeah.
She is 2 years younger than me, and we talk almost every day.
That's good though. You
Almost every
see?
day.
That's what I'm saying. You don't come across a lot of people who like talk almost every day to their family members. Let's boost it up a notch. Let's hit maybe like your teenage years. Let's get into the dating realm. Were you even allowed to date growing up?
Not really. not not really. I was like,
It was very strict.
yeah, but
I mean, we were all children. It's okay. It's okay. I know we spoke about this more recently, but I want to share with the audience. I am going to ask you about your first real date. And then whenever we did discuss this, you did share that your real date was actually with your husband, who was not your husband at the time.
yeah. So
Did he take you out? Y'all go see a movie, have dinner?
yes. My first real date, I would say, was with my husband. We were kind of dating at the time. We was 13. We actually like went on it was like a group thing, and we actually met each other at the movies, and that was our date. That was our first date.
Would you say that back then you knew it was going to be something serious, or was it just another?
I mean, like when you young, that little puppy love type of stuff. It's like, oh, okay, like this is new. This is like the little butterflies in your stomach and stuff. So it's just like, oh, okay. I mean, like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess, yeah.
Well, moving
But
into
yeah.
that in that section, into I'm sure into your 20s when you guys really started dating, and taking each other more seriously. were you both on kind of the same page as to what you wanted out of life from one another?
Not at all. First of all, we were very young. We was we were young, so we're still trying to figure out life. You know what I'm saying? After high school, like we didn't talk for a long period of time. We would still catch up like on social media and be like, "Oh, happy birthday!" You know, we were friends on social media for a while, so it was like, okay, we still kept in contact, but yeah, we were kids. Like we wasn't like, oh, well, we're gonna be in love. We're, you know, gonna marry each other. Like this is, we had our whole life planned out. We did not. We did not have our life planned out with each other. It was like, if it happens, it happens. Like, you know, we wasn't really like
Was there really like a
that
turning
serious.
point where you guys kind of went out of the realm of dating and then been like, okay, this is serious? Maybe I do picture this person being the one.
I would say in my mid 20s.
Yeah.
In my mid 20s, that's when I was like, okay, like
Waiting on that ring.
when my
My
look,
time is ticking.
because you know when you're young and you're a kid or whatever, you always played house with,
Yeah.
you know, kids at school and stuff like that. So it's like I've always imagined myself like, okay, when I get older, I want to 25. It's like I've always had like 25 is gonna be like I'm gonna be
It's like a turning
married,
point.
I'm gonna have a kid at that time. Like I saw myself at 25 already like having a family already, you know. And then when I turned 25, I'm like, my ring, sir. Like what's going on here, you know? But then not like I would say shortly after that, yeah, it happened.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys have been married now going on 7 years?
Five,
Five
five.
years. And how has marriage changed your relationship together? Because you do have a son now. Has the dynamic shifted at all in your relationship with your husband?
I mean, like, yeah, it's. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all think dating is gonna be the same when y'all get married, it's not. Let me tell y'all that. And I'm not saying it where that it's, you know, it's bad or it's you don't look forward into being married to somebody for the rest of your life because it's, you know, downhill after that. No, it's not. It has changed. Of course, it's going to change because you get older, you go through life together, you experience things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like of course things are not going to be the same as it was when we were younger or when we started dating or when we were dating, you know, in our early 20s where that we could just get up and go and be like, "Oh, okay." You know, like call each other and be like, "Hey, you want to go somewhere? All right, cool." No, we can't even do that right now because we have a kid. Well, who gonna watch him while we go out? Is this a kid friendly event? Is this somebody that, you know, like we have to actually rationalize things and actually be parents now? And as a husband and wife, it's just like, okay, now you have to actually talk to this person and be like, hey, you know, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be late coming home today because, you know, I got to do something. I got, you know, I'm still at the office working or, you know, whatever the case may be. Like
Yeah.
I'm out helping a friend or I'm out, you know, helping a family member or whatever. So it's like you still have to check on that person and be like, hey, be considerate and be like, hey, like, it's gonna be a while till I get home. Like, you know, I'm not just out doing whatever with my friends and not letting
Yeah.
you know, you know. And it's just, you know, sometimes that does happen where that you forget, you know. But yeah, I feel like it's not going to be the same. It does change. But as long as you have that, you communicate with them and you understanding. somebody's communication skills is very important.
Yeah, I do agree.
Very important.
Because it's not lack of communication. It's communication, but are you comprehending
Yeah.
what I'm communicating to you? You know? And I think I'm not married, but I can definitely see on, just from an outsider's perspective on y'all's marriage, it's always going to be work.
Of course.
It's always going to have its ins and outs.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
guys honestly have such chemistry. It's crazy.
I
And
guess.
no, it's true. Like, I mean, you can definitely see the love that you both share for one another.
Yeah.
Last one on marriage, and this one is definitely for you, RJ, if you're listening. What do you admire most about your husband?
Most? I don't know.
You
I
can have a couple
mean,
things.
he listens to the small details of things. Like if I say, "Oh, I need to," I don't know, like small things. If I mention something small, he'll do it. He'll do it, and I'll be like, "Oh, so you were listening? Oh, okay. So you act like you don't listen, but his spontaneous of things of just being like very romantic and being, what I'm saying, it doesn't happen often, but
You guys do have very not coordinated, but like there is a lot of thought put into y'all's
he's
outings.
very thoughtful. And I believe both of us are very thoughtful in things that we do for each other. But he is very thoughtful, very, very thoughtful.
That's good. And you see that today it's very hard to see things through as far as marriage is concerned when we're talking about, dating and, keeping a family, together. You don't see it often. So it's very nice to see a younger couple that is kind of beating the odds and actually working through a marriage rather than just calling it quits and be like, you know what, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. You guys seem to really take heed into what each other really says to one another. And you do spend a lot of time really talking with one another, not just, oh, how was your day? You guys do spend a lot more time really
Yeah,
communicating.
that's key. We are gonna respect each other to the most high. Like it's disrespect. Nah, we don't disrespect each other at all. Like even if we feel disrespected, we gonna talk about that. But yeah, like arguing and yelling, and I mean, I might raise my voice. I ain't gonna lie, I'm the hothead. But yeah, we actually sit down and have a talk. I mean, talk about things that we dealing with or whatever.
Well, take it from me, I admire both of you because I've never once seen you guys really argue at all. In the 3, 4 years I've known you, never once.
I mean, we bicker.
You bicker, but it's never like one of those full blown arguments you see nowadays with some people where you kind of get caught in the middle sometimes. Never done that. Never, not once. You guys seem to always work it out, and it's like rolling off the back like it's nothing.
Yeah, because also, especially like with social media wise, I mean, you just have to, something like that, marriage is so sacred. You want to keep private. You don't want to, like,
You don't want anybody to rain on your
yeah,
parade.
your dirty laundries or whatever, if you have any. You don't want to have that spill over into like the public. You got to keep that very private. It's very sacred. So y'all don't be going on social media talking about y'all boyfriend or girlfriend, because y'all ain't
Please.
gonna get no ring by doing that.
No, it's actually, I mean, let's be real here. It's a maturity thing.
It
Like, you
is.
have to be in a mature state of mind, really, in order to sit down, one, to hear somebody out, and then two, accountability. Like, you have to be accountable sometimes when you do make mistakes, or maybe you do say something that probably shouldn't have been said because you're angry, and That's really the key. And like I said, I admire both of y'all so much just because you guys are just honestly a power couple. And
Oh, thank you.
it's the craziest thing, audience. I don't want to share too much, but her husband is also a Cancer. Never in my life have I ever seen
She is so into these signs.
no, because it's real. As you does, and as long as I've known you, you are such a cool, calm, collected person, very nonchalant. You're not necessarily like the big, bold person out the gate, but it's like your husband is complementary to that because where you're quiet and reserved, your husband is, the one that's making everybody laugh, making, great conversations. And then it kind of reverses sometimes where he'll be on the quiet side and then you'll be the one who's more outgoing and more talkative. You guys complement one another really well.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Let's move into some of your more personal, I'm going to say inspirations or aspirations. Do you have any short term goals right now? And short term meaning like maybe within this year or next year? Anything you want to accomplish?
I do have some things in the making. With goals, I don't like to talk about it out in public because
No.
it's like, you know,
It's just little things. You don't even have to say, like what your work is looking like or what you have in store for this show. But is there anything that you want to accomplish this year in 2023?
with I would say 2023.
I know we already
Travel
here.
more.
Traveling, yeah.
Travel more. I do want to. It doesn't have to be overseas. It could be like road trips. It could be like little getaways or whatever. Just do more outdoor things because I feel like in COVID, it kind of put a pause on everything. So now it's like I want to go out. I want to do stuff. Like I feel like I don't know. I was once a travel person before. Like I don't
Okay.
know. I want to see the world. I want to see different cultures. Like I want to go to Thailand.
Okay.
I want
Yeah.
to. I want to go
Okay.
to Greece.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I say more power to you. I'm right there with you. I haven't had really any vacations, but I know you've been itching for one more recently.
Oh baby. Yeah, it's in the works. It's in the works. But yeah.
Well, aside from short term, is there anything long term? Maybe in the next 5 to 10 years? Anything related to family, career? You want to expand your family?
I get that question like no, seriously. I do get that question a lot.
We love babies around here.
Oh my gosh. We make adorable babies, but right now it's like yeah, I'm not rushing for that right now. Yeah, I'm not rushing for that right now.
And that's
But
okay.
yeah, eventually,
Yeah.
you know.
When it comes, it comes. That's good, though. Um, well, since we did talk about traveling, what was one of the last vacations that you had?
We went to Jamaica. So, for my husband's birthday, RJ, went to we went to Jamaica. I talked about this on the last episode, closing out in 2022. It was just something that I felt like was needed at the time, especially for his birthday. It was just like, okay, we need a trip. We need to go out, So me and his cousins actually put together a trip and we all went.
Would you say that was one of the best ones you've had, or have you had anything better than that?
So, yes, that was a good trip. Actually, one of my best trips I did have was actually with his family, the women in his family. We actually went on, that was my first cruise. We actually went Mexico,
Yeah.
and yeah, we had a ball. That's all I'm gonna say. We
No
had a
details, but I mean,
ball.
Mexico, I know y'all had a good old time. I know the tequila
Tequila
was pouring.
everywhere,
We don't
everywhere.
have to get into too many details. I mean, y'all can put two and two together. Liquor was
And his
pouring.
family is a good time. Let me tell you.
Let the good times roll is what I say. Um, when it comes to, I want to say really anything in your life, is there anything that you're most proud of? Whether that's your accomplishments or your family, your son, career. It could be several things.
You making me think here. I thought it was gonna be like spicy questions.
We're gonna get there, but I want
Oh,
the
okay.
audience to see just, kind of a peek into
You're making
Dez's
me
life.
think. Um, I'm most proud of. Yeah, I would say. Well, me personally, most proud of is doing this podcast. Just being more outspoken, being more myself, showing people who I am. I think I just wasn't. I don't believe I was ever this way, especially in school. Like nobody knows me as somebody that would just be outspoken and just give my opinion on stuff. I would never give my opinion on anything.
You've always been very soft spoken in most situations.
Yeah. But I would say short recently I would say yes, this podcast. I'm proud of. I actually, you know, of course I'm not doing this all on my own, but you know, I'm proud of that.
Okay. And lastly, on some of the more deeper questions, is there anything that you would want to share with the people watching? Just anything, maybe a random fact about you, or just maybe something personal that you don't share that you wish people understood about you?
Something I do not speak Spanish.
Okay, so let me backtrack real quick. Desiree had a maiden name, of course. Her birth given last name was of Hispanic heritage. And yes, even myself too. When you look a certain way and you have brown skin, you got curly hair, sometimes people mistake you for a different race.
Hispanic, Spanish, whatever it is. Latino race. I am mixed with Latino. I do have Latino in me, but Spanish in me. But yeah, I consider myself as African American, and I mean my family's from Trinidad, so I mean y'all could put two and two together. But yeah, it's just I don't speak Spanish. Everybody did, and I get that all the time from Spanish people. Like they'll just
Walk up and just start talking.
talking in Spanish, and I'm like, no, I don't know. And then people that I did work with that were Hispanic, they be like, oh, well, you don't speak Spanish, or your last name's Carrera, like, and I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I tell them where my family is from. They're like, oh, okay, all right, I get it. And I'm like, yeah, so leave me alone. And like, leave me alone. Don't come at me like that. So that's one of my pet peeves that I do. I kind of, I won't say I don't like it. It's just like, ugh, y'all, come on now. Like, not everybody that looks Hispanic.
You're not being a disgrace. It's just
Yeah,
that's not your heritage or your
it's
culture.
not. It's
I
not
mean,
at
it's a part of
all.
it, but it's very loosely.
Yeah, very, very. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna take it into some of the more spicy questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Come on now.